Welcome back, everybody. We have an exciting one here for you today. Before I introduce my guest, I want to introduce my co-host. She is returning today. She is from the Philippines. You've seen her in Playboy, Penthouse, FHM, Maxim. She is a Spearmint Rhino first ballot Hall of Famer, as far as I'm concerned. Her and Nara Ford, and she is an incredibly huge OnlyFans content creator and Instagram influencer. We have Miss CJ Miles. How you doing, CJ?
Good.
That's awesome. You grew. I think you're like 4'8" now. You're like taller now. I noticed that. That's incredible. Are we hooping later?
Yes.
Are we playing basketball? Okay, awesome. Ready? And my guest today, we're super excited to have her. She's originally from Portland. She lives in Tampa Bay, Florida. She's an entertainer, influencer. She's an OnlyFans content creator, and she is currently the December 2021 Penthouse Pet of the Month, and she's going for Penthouse Pet of the Year. We have Miss Amber Marie. How you doing today, Amber?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on here. So when you reached out and, I looked you up, we have a lot of friends in common. Destiny Dixon, who, she's
I love
awesome.
Destiny. She's amazing.
She's a unicorn. She makes me nervous. She's awesome. And then some other people, and then obviously CJ. Who are some of your favorite people to work with?
Well, CJ, of course, one of my favorite people to work with.
Yeah.
And Destiny would be Destiny Dixon. She's super fun, and we're both Sages, so it's always a vibe. And she's one of those people when I first started working with her was like, just hit it off.
Yeah.
Like became like best friends right off
That's
the
what
bat.
she said.
Yeah, like it was just so natural. Like it was just, we've not known each other that long, but every time I see her, it's like it's never skipped a beat. It's great.
Okay, awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, no, that's terrific. You mentioned before, like, you're an artist, but you don't get to produce much of your art.
So before I started like modeling and all that online, I just was like regular girl.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in like high school, I went to like an art school. It was like a small like magnet school.
This is in Portland?
In Portland.
So they had a magnet program in Portland.
Yeah, so I went to a magnet school in Portland for art. I got accepted for like drawing and painting, but then I switched all my classes and started doing sculpture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when I would post my art and stuff like that, it just was not successful for me, and it's like I'm very like kind of like insecure about posting it. So nobody like knows like now that I'm a model that I've ever did art.
Yeah.
I have like an old personal Instagram that has all that kind of stuff
Really?
on there, but I don't ever like nobody knows what.
Well,
it
we
is.
need to publicize that later.
No.
Hey, here's the thing, right? So the way it works is I started this podcast and I didn't give a shit what anybody thought. I wanted to do a podcast where I talked about quantum mechanics and I talked to OnlyFans models and I talked to people who thought the earth was flat and I talked to people who believed in, who didn't believe in evolution and did believe in evolution. And the thing is, if you do it for you, it doesn't make any difference. And I would love to see what some of your art is, because that's what matters, is that you do it for you. And then what happens is somebody discovers you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you figure out somebody has the same vibe as you. You're originally from Portland. What was it like growing up there?
Very alternative, very hipster.
Yeah.
It's a different shift from moving from Portland to like Florida.
Yeah.
Because completely different lifestyle. Like when I lived in Portland, I was so like, I guess like more like very like hippie, alternative, grungy, and then I
Okay,
moved
so
to
you had the baggy pants and the dark eyeshadow like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like
dark eyeliner, very like Nirvana, listening to alternative music.
Some of
from
the Seattle grunge
very
shit.
Seattle grunge was like the vibe over there. And then so when I moved to Florida, it's weird because it just transitioned into like stuff that when I was in high school I was like, I would never listen to like pop, hip hop, but like working in clubs.
The things that you're doing.
And now it's like that I've changed. I'm like that kind of person now. So it's different.
Okay, so growing up in Portland, are you the cool girl? Are you a cheerleader? Are you an athlete? Like, what were you like in high school?
I was like the stoner girl.
You were a stoner.
Girl. Like the nerdy girl. Like I didn't like. It's funny because growing up, like I was not who I am on Instagram today.
Did you have a glow up later? And like, were you the ugly duckling then and then changed, or were you always getting a lot of attention from dudes? Like even when you were junior high school.
I feel like I didn't get a lot of attention, but I feel like I've always looked the same.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like when I was in high school and like middle school, all that, like what people thought was like the girls that got attention was just not my look.
Yeah.
And like blonde girls, super trending, all that. And when I was in high school, I'm a brunette girl.
Yeah.
So like it just wasn't as popular as it is now. And I feel like within the last like 5 to 6 years, like with the Kardashians, like brunettes are kind of like becoming a thing now.
Yeah.
Before it used to be all blondes. So when I was in high school, it's kind of like not like people didn't really pay me any attention, but I don't look extremely different from high school, so I wouldn't call myself ugly, but I wasn't like popular or anything like that.
What's your ethnicity? Your family's ethnicity?
Cuban and Lebanese.
Cuban and Lebanese. Okay, very cool. I know a lot of people that are mixed, that are Spanish and Lebanese, like some kind of Hispanic. A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a lot of like telenovela actors that are actually Lebanese, that were born Lebanese. It's pretty interesting. So now you're in Portland. And growing up there, you go to an arts magnet. And you wanted to get into sculpture? Was that originally your idea?
So it's weird because the magnet school I got into, so when I was in high school, I was going to, when I was in like elementary school, I always wanted to go to this magnet school, ACMA. It's in Portland.
Yeah.
Portland, Beaverton area.
Yeah.
And my mom was always trying to get me to get into it or whatever. It was like on a lottery and all this, and I never got in. And then, so we moved to Vancouver, Washington, and I'm like fucking up in school.
Yeah.
I'm the bad girl. I'm skipping school. I'm smoking weed. I'm fucking partying.
Okay,
like,
so that's the main thing. Hold on. So the main thing is skipping because you want to go smoke?
No, because just...
There were boys involved.
It's just everybody.
Everybody.
Like, just everybody. I have really young parents. Like, my mom's 46.
Okay.
Like, it's so... When my mom got a job, we were moving to Portland for I forget what it was. We moved back from Vancouver to Portland, which is only a 30-minute drive. Yeah. So we're switching schools, and my mom, because I was on the lottery for this art school for so long, and the magnet school, it's a really small school. Yeah. But it was like kind of pristine. Like, you got to get really good grades. You got to be like kind of like a smart kid and be good at art to get into school. Yeah. And I was in the lottery for so long, and she sent in like some of my paintings and stuff like that, and they like let me in. I didn't even want to go anymore.
Really? Oh, you had grown out of it?
Yeah, I had grown out of it. I was like, I wanted to go when I was younger, and I grew out of it. And then once I got back into it, it really just kind of like find myself.
Yeah. Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. What were your plans after that? Like, did you graduate from the arts magnet?
No.
We have one in Dallas. It's called Booker T. Washington. It's where my brother went. He went to that arts magnet. So I'm familiar with that whole thing. We have different magnets and when I grew up in Dallas. So what was your plan there? Like, what was it? Because you mentioned before, like, you didn't graduate from high school, you didn't get a GED, but you make more money than a doctor. That's what you told me. Like, and I like that. I like that line.
Well, the thing is, though, is like, I also don't want to like perceive that, because I feel like people should go to school because the industry that I've been in is hard. Yes. And if you're not headstrong enough, you're not going to be successful, and you're not going to make money in it. And I can't tell people you should do this or, take my path, because you might not have that mentality to where it's going to be successful for you, and you're going to end up in a bad situation because you're not headstrong enough to be in that. But honestly, I didn't really have a plan. When I was in high school or whatever, once I turned 18, I moved out of my mom's house immediately, started working in clubs, dancing, and then eventually like ended up in
Portland.
Florida. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know this. Portland has the most strip clubs per square foot of any city in the United States. Yeah. I think Houston is somewhere after that.
It was Dallas. Portland and actually Tampa. Tampa. But just because they have the most strip clubs, they're not good.
That's what I imagine. Most cities with really good strip clubs don't have a lot of them. Right, they have like Austin, Texas has some great strip clubs. There's like 9, but like so you're saying there was just tons of them and they weren't very good in Portland.
Well, there's tons of them because like with licensing and like
they don't have zoning laws. Yeah, Houston's the same way.
It's kind of like you can kind of do whatever, but it's harder to make money in the clubs over there. Like when I first started dancing, I first started dancing in Portland, and then like with a few months of dancing there, moved to Florida. But over there it was different because like in Florida, like you could be 18 working in clubs and you could walk the bar, you could sit at the bar. In Portland, if you wanted to make money, like if you're underage, like clubs, like you have to walk on stage, and you can only be on stage if you're not 21. Right. And you have to be escorted up. So if you want to sell a dance or something, you have to hustle it from the stage. So nobody sees you. So if you're it's really hard to make money.
Wow, I didn't know they had different rules for different age groups.
You can't even walk to the bathroom through the bar because like legally you're not 21. So somebody has to escort you. If you want to sell a dance, hopefully somebody sees you on stage and they ask for you, or you have to ask them from the stage. You got to go do your rotation and be like,
just yell at them, be like, hey, motherfucker, by the bar.
Because like they're sitting at the rack and you go down to the rack and be like, hey, do you want to do a dance? Hey, you have to ask them.
How old did you go?
I started when I was 18.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's crazy. So I was a DJ and a manager at a strip club for 4 years, from like 2000, 2004. In Austin, or in Texas in general, actually, I think it's the same way in Georgia when I lived there, is that if it's fully nude, it's BYOB. And if it's not fully nude, then they serve alcohol. Is that how it is in Oregon?
Oregon is full nude, full liquor.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, because when it was a weird transition for me. Because
that's why there's so many strip clubs there. I get it now.
Club. Yeah, it's full nude, full liquor. A lot of there's a lot of juice bars and stuff like that there. And the main reason why is because liquor licenses and all that. It's always like really hard to get. So if they don't have a liquor license, it's because they couldn't get one. Right. And also their girls can, if you're a minor, they call it a minor because it's like you're under 18. Or not under 18, you're under 21. Under 21, so you're considered a minor because you can't legally drink. So those clubs, like the girls can walk the floor and all that. But it's weird when I moved to Florida. I was like, I didn't even know. I was like waiting in the dressing room, like, why are you out there? And I was like, well, I'm not 21, so I can't like. They're like,
oh, you didn't even know.
I didn't even know. So like when I first started dancing, I had moved to Sarasota and I was working at Cheetahs. And it was just so like different for me because I'd never walked around the club or bar in general like that and tried to make money. So it was a very weird transition.
Were you nervous when you start working in a Florida club? Or was it just like, this is easy?
No, because Florida's different. I feel like, because when I first moved to Florida, if you serve liquor, I know Miami's full nude, but like in Sarasota, Tampa, all that area, it's pasties and like bottoms. So you don't even have to show anything. Like you can't take it off or anything like that. You have to wear tape over your titties so they don't even like see you fully naked. You
should manage a strip club. You know the laws and everything.
I know. I worked in the industry a long time. I know a lot about it.
Okay, so around that time, were you already on Instagram? Was that a thing? So when you started dancing, you weren't on Instagram.
No, not at all.
What is the catalyst that caused you to move to Florida?
I was like,
was there a guy?
So I had when I first moved to Florida, it was a shitty story, shitty scenario. Me and my mom never got along. We get along so much now. Yeah. And I realized we didn't get along because she was hard on me because I was being a bad kid. That's really what it was. So I turned 18, had a boyfriend I was living with at the time, started dancing like in Eugene and Portland, saved up some money and moved to Florida. He had a mom, his mom lived in Florida.
So your boyfriend's mom lived in Florida.
Yeah, and it was the most fucked up, shitty scenario because I moved to Florida with like an EBT card, $1,000 cash saved, and like living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 people. And
with his mom.
With his mom, who
was
a piece of shit. Like she was a piece of shit. Like it was bad. It was like so, and I started working in clubs, and I started making so much money to where like his mom quit her job, and I'm 18 at this time.
Well, you're taking care of all of them.
Yeah, and I found myself in a really shitty situation like that.
You know this, CJ? No. Damn. Go ahead.
And it's crazy because like my club, like that I was working, they stepped in and they're like, "You got to get out of this." They went to my house, packed up all my shit, moved me out, and I moved into with a house that another dancer lived in, a group of girlfriends.
So tell me about the breakup with the boyfriend though that precedes this. You have to break up with your boyfriend in order to move.
Well, it's already broken up in like bad.
Okay, so what happened there? Like you move across country. If you don't want to talk about it.
I move across country. I live with them for a year, whatever. I'm dancing, doing my own thing, and I'm working so much. I'm like there every day.
Yeah.
I'm not really even seeing them. And this is like, we're young. Like we're so young. Like this is somebody I dated when I was like 16.
Yeah.
It's at 18. So it's kind of like, I don't even really remember what it was like to be in that relationship, but I remember what it's like to be in that situation.
Yeah.
To where like, I felt like.
Stressful.
It was stressful. It was like everything was on me. Like everything was on me, and it was like just completely being taken advantage of by like even an older woman. Like it's crazy.
Well, I mean, like how was like you don't mind me asking, the intimacy living in the same house with his mom?
I was 18 though, so it's different.
You weren't doing anything. I'm confused.
No, well, yeah, of course, like I had a relationship with this person, but when you're 18, like you're used to like, I was 18. I moved to Florida. I was just out of high school, so you're used to living like. Seeing people's parents, you're still young, you're a teenager.
Yeah, of course.
So you're used to that. It's not the same now to where if I'm like as a full adult would be like.
Let me reiterate. I am 44. If I go back to my mom's house in Texas, I am not having sex with a woman under her roof.
Of course.
And I'm 44.
But if you were 17, 18, it'd be different mentality.
Okay, what's the mentality?
You're young and like you're used to like people living with their parents.
So you're having sex with your boyfriend and he didn't, his mom didn't care is what I'm asking.
I don't know how this is even like, I honestly don't really remember. It wasn't even like
okay, got it.
Yeah, because I was so young. It was like it was like a kid relationship.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It's not a real like
that makes
adult
sense.
relationship. It's like we're in high school, we moved to Florida together. It's like, you know, that little like boyfriends you have when you're young towards it's pretty PG for the most part.
There you go. That's what I was asking.
That's what I was like it wasn't like that. It's not like being an adult now where it's like everything's super sexual and intimate. Like it's like we were kids, like we didn't even know what the fuck we were doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now you're living there. You move the people from the club Cheetahs. They come and move you out of the place.
So like one of my managers and stuff like that. Like I'm good friends with all those people. Like they help me get my stuff. Was driving me to work. Help me move out of that situation. Like let me know that I was like, hey, like you have people here that'll like help because I was here alone. Like or not here, but I was in Florida alone, so I didn't really have anybody there. So the club stepped in. And, like they were like my family.
Did your parents ever come to visit you in Florida?
My mom's coming a couple of times now. We're close now and stuff. But I mean, I have a good family. Like I'm really close with all my family.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. So now the transition from there, like what happened? So you're moved from Sarasota to Tampa, or like how? What happens? What caused you to change clubs? Like what's the transition there?
So Summer hit because Florida's the season.
Yeah.
So summer hit, money starts getting really slow. So me and my friends
Wait.
were like,
So could you explain that to people? Because they would think it's the opposite. In the summer, it gets worse, and in the winter is better for a dance.
Because in Florida, like there's a season, like a dance season. So when you're dancing, there's the snowbird season.
Okay.
So winter vacations, everybody is on like they come down and they spend money. Summer, it's like our winter because there's hurricanes, like stormy all the time. The weather's bad, so people aren't going out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So hospitality, everybody in the hospitality industry during the summer in Florida is slow, and it's drastically slow.
CJ, is it like that here? Like at the Rhino, wasn't there like different time periods where nobody would come into the Rhino or stuff like that?
I think December.
December? It was bad in the rest of the year. Was it bad during the summer?
In my year. Just kidding.
I mean, this fucking Shaquille. We're talking to the Shaquille O'Neal of fucking the Spearmint Rhino over here. Like, are you kidding me? It was always good for me. I don't know what the rest of the girls were doing. I was having a great time at the Rhino. I'm always in the VIP. I didn't even know there was a club. I thought everything was just John's.
Though too when I danced, it was like I got lucky like all the time.
Yeah.
It just being me, it was like getting lucky. It was the best.
Well, I mean, it's a career field. It actually is a job. I know some people have a hard time understanding that, but like sometimes when I talk to Nara or some of the girls I worked with before, there's so many things that go into it, right? About your personality and the way you dress and all that kind of stuff that makes you more approachable. I've seen girls that are very, very pretty. Because when I manage the club, some of the prettiest girls are like, I fucking hate this place. I don't make any money.
They don't make any money because they don't have a mouthpiece. They can't talk.
It's not even, that was part of it, definitely. But the other part is they were just so like either athletic or well put together and they just looked unapproachable. They just didn't seem very approachable. And and then I would see other girls that were like, just for lack of a better term, not as attractive. And they were fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Because this industry, so one of the clubs I worked at in Dollhouse, that was like the last club before I stopped dancing that I worked out forever. And the way they ran that club was so good because the mentality was like, if this industry was about sex, we would be closed. Because
of course.
It wasn't a dirty club. You couldn't get away with doing anything extra in there or anything like that. But it's like people want attention and like a good time. So it's like, it's not about what you look like. You could be the prettiest girl in the world and not make any money. And the guys that are coming in there, like, they don't want to approach any of the girls.
Yeah.
Like, they're there for you to, like, approach and talk to them and make them feel good. So a lot of girls will be pretty like, I'm not making any money because, like, they don't have the guts to go up there and talk to that guy and say hi to them. They're there for you to come say hi to them. You're not there for them to say hi to you because they're used to being shut down. Or they're just used to, they don't want to have to try. They're there to relax. So they want to have a girl come to them and talk to them and not have to do anything.
Where did you learn that?
I feel like just
and where did you learn that?
Which one?
Girl, you got
naturally.
game. You got game, girl.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Just like comes naturally.
Yeah, it just comes. You're just naturally extroverted.
I wouldn't say that I am, but it's just kind of like you could just tell. You know, like there's people in life that get it, and there's people who don't, and it's just kind of like. It's a vibe. It's like a personality thing. Like you have to have fun with energy. It's an energy, yeah. Do you, in a group, a crowded room full of people, do you get energy from talking to a lot of people? No.
No, you don't.
I'm not like from working in clubs. I've worked in it so long to where it's like if I'm not making money, I'm not at work. It's like the last place I want to be is a nightclub.
Yeah, it's really interesting that I've seen that happen a lot. So in Vegas, what had happened was for the longest time before, now we have atmosphere models. Before we had atmosphere models, let's say like when the nightclub thing started happening, the EDM thing, say like from 2004 to like 2015, what you'd see is there would be all these girls that lived here because there's way more girls than guys that live here in the nightlife industry. And they, on their nights off, they would go out clubbing. And the girls finally got to the point where like, why are we doing this for free? And these atmosphere modeling agencies, shout out to Legend Modeling Talent, that's the group I work with, they would start getting girls paid, $50, $75 an hour just to sit there and drink with clients. It was like a dirty little secret. Like a lot of people would come here, and what would happen is I'd do my little 10K minimum. I'm only spending 10K. I'm here for a conference, whatever. And then the guy next to me has 47 fucking girls over there, and they're like popping bottles, and they're just trying to big dick me the whole time. Like, hey, loser, you're only spending 10K, and you're like, oh fuck, man. Okay. And then some of the girls come over to my table, and they're like, let's buy some more champagne, And then that's essentially how the whole thing would work in Las Vegas. Like that was kind of a big deal. And so a lot of the girls would tell me, it's like, yeah, if I'm not getting paid, I don't ever go to a nightclub. And it's really interesting how it kind of like beats it out of you. There's a book called Drive where they talk about having fun for the fun and then doing it for the money, and how that kind of change. Like you see football players and basketball players, as soon as they start getting paid, they're like, they take care of themselves. They don't play as hard, stuff like that. So it's just a really, really interesting thing.
Also, I feel like I kind of, from working in clubs since I was 18, that's the first time I'm in bars at
Yeah.
18. So it's kind of like people turn 21 and they want to go out and they want to party and do all these things because it's new to them.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, like before, like when I was in high school, so like that sounds so cool to you. That's exciting. And you get jaded to where it's not really about like even like getting paid, but it's like it's almost like I grew up fast and I went through all those party years from working in the club. So I'm burnt out. It's like, I don't want to go out and party anymore like that. Cause it's like, I've done it already. Like I'm just out of that phase.
Yeah.
So, but I was able to go through that phase in work.
Yeah.
But I mean, even now, it's like even if I was getting paid, I'm like, I still don't even really want to do that anymore.
Tahlia Paris, do you know her? She was Penthouse Pet of the Year, I think, one year. She was on the show, and she was the youngest ever Playboy Cyber Girl of the Year.
Oh wow.
Just turned 19. And she told, and I was joking with her because she would come out here. She's the only girl I've ever seen at 19 that would get a birthday party thrown for her in a Las Vegas nightclub. And they knew how old she was.
Wow.
And I told her, I was like, girl, when you're 21, you're not going to fucking care about any of this. Yeah. She lives here and I never see her anymore. She's like, you're right. She's like, when I turned 21, I didn't care about going out at all. She goes, I see her, she only comes to charity events that I invite her to, like animal rescue stuff. And I see her there with her boyfriend. But she's like, yeah, I was burnt out about it because, like, here's the thing. Do you feel like, and same thing with you, because I asked several girls this, and they kind of agree with me. Do you feel like there's a lot of women your age, you know way more about social dynamics and men than they do because of all the experiences that you have?
I have, like my sisters, I see their life and they just don't get it. Mm-hmm. Like they don't realize like the situations.
Yeah, like, can you talk about some of the situation? Can you tell when, like, hey, girl, this guy's not good for you, or he's talking shit, or stuff like that? Can you see it a mile away, or do you have more foresight because of your experience?
I definitely have more foresight because of my experience, but not even just because working in a sexual industry, but I feel like when you work in a club environment like that, and your job is to communicate with people, you learn a skill to where you can communicate and talk to so many people with different walks of life, to where it's like, I've met so many people that do so many different things, and like they resonate with you. You're there to make them like feel comfortable. You learn about them, you talk to them, so you learn so much about other people that like when you take that out into the real world, people tell you about things, and like I already know what you're insecure about. I already know like how you handle things or do things, probably more than you know, because I'm just so used. I've met so many people that I've learned so much about people that I know more about that person they probably know about themselves.
Yeah.
So, but with other people trying to meet people, they don't know that because they've not talked to, when you talk to like 30, 40 people a night, like they're social skills. They don't have the social skills to like communicate with that many people. So when they communicate with somebody that they like or they meet, it's very like subtle because they're shy. It's
almost like you guys have like a master's degree in like sociology or just a deeper understanding of male psychology that a lot of other people don't. Like I would definitely admit to this, that I knew a lot of girls that were dancers that had a better understanding of a certain man's psyche than his wife did. Right? Yes. She would have a better understanding of what he actually wanted than he knew what he wanted, and a better understanding than his own wife. And that was just, it's just a really interesting thing. You end up being, there's a book, you guys might want to check it out. It's a woman has a PhD in psychology. It's called Bear. She was a dancer to pay for her entire PhD. So it's really interesting about the dichotomy between the two things. Awesome, man. So now let's talk about this. You moved to Florida. That's crazy that you said you only had $1,000 with you. You start making a bunch of money at the club.
Yeah, I was broke.
So from this point, where is the transition for social media? You leave Sarasota and move to Tampa. Is that it?
So I lived in Sarasota for a year. Eventually, I moved to Tampa. Okay. Started working clubs over there. So
why? Because the money's better in Tampa?
There's better clubs. In Sarasota, there's only one club. It's Cheetahs. Yeah. And like, it was good money, but like all the good clubs are in Tampa and stuff like that. So I moved over there to where the money was at. So you just kind of like follow the money.
Is the clientele there just like older retirees and stuff like that?
Not everybody. It's kind of like, I've danced in Arizona too. It's like, it's not like big like Miami or Vegas, which I don't like dancing here because it's too big to where like you don't really connect with those people. But it's everybody. Like I've had like clients that come in there that are 60 that I get along with, vibe with, people who are 35. Like it's a very like diverse range of age group.
So you see them over and over. You repeat clients. That's what you're saying with a smaller club?
Well, because they're all, Tampa, like strip clubs in Tampa, like there's not a lot of nightclubs, so like that's where people go.
Oh, got it.
So it's kind of like everybody in the area because it's a smaller club. Like they only run 30 to 40 girls a night, and that's a lot. like 30 to 40 girls a night in a club in Tampa is like a lot of girls. So these are smaller niche clubs to where like once you've been working there for a year or two, you know everybody who comes in on the weekends. So you, you know everybody in this building. So it's like it's easy to know where the money's at. It's easy to know like and vibe with these people because you have like a rapport with them because they're there all the time because that's what there's to do in the weekend there.
That's great. That's awesome. You know, a friend of mine last night, she works at Palomino. She was telling me, she was like, if a guy comes into the club wearing a suit, he doesn't have money. He's like,
sure.
right. And then she's like, if a guy comes in, like the guys who spend money are wearing like New Balance and just like fucking pants they bought from Walmart. And it's like this really weird thing. You were at the Rhino. You were turning them and burning them. I don't think, did you have a lot of repeat customers or were there just people?
Course.
Did you?
Always.
What was it? What was it like for you? I mean, you and Francine D just basically destroying the world. What was that like?
Well, it's good. I think Rhino's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know up to now.
Yeah, no, it's incredible right now. Yeah, no, it's just interesting because she said she didn't like that type of environment where it was bigger and like you had more people there. It was less personable.
I think I like the stage. I like being on stage. And I didn't really had a problem because when I was with Francine, we were just known.
Yeah.
Like people know me.
Have you ever met Francine?
No, because it's your home club. You started there.
Yeah.
So you're comfortable. I feel like if I would have started in a bigger club, I'd probably feel that way. But when I came to Vegas to dance and when I danced in Miami, I had already been like one of the highest ringing girls at the club I was at.
Yeah.
So when you come to a new club, it's very hard to make money because you don't know their system. You don't know their room prices. All that stuff comes in hand when you're trying to make money. So it's like I'm always going to make money at my home club because I know what to sell. I know all that stuff. When you go to a new club, you're kind of vulnerable because you're like, there's so many people, you don't know the layout of the club and you don't like to remember it's really hard to hustle when you don't know the sales. Like you can't remember the sales.
Yeah,
that's
for
so
sure.
important. It's like, it's a numbers game.
For sure. Awesome. Is there anything, she's destroying stuff. There she is, CJ. She's ready to go.
I'm awake.
CJ, you want another shot? You want to get you another shot? You good?
Shot of love.
Shot of love?
Shout of love.
I love you, CJ.
I love you.
Shout of love
Me
with
too.
CJ.
All right. Is there anything, so you mentioned before about the being an artist. Are there things that a lot of people would be surprised to know about you? What is things that people don't ask you much about?
I mean, I feel like I don't know a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my circle is very small other than like people on Instagram I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of other models and stuff like that. So, but I guess like the art thing would be.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm more down to earth than what people see on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I guess I wouldn't know what people's perception is.
Are you into any charities, animal rescue, anything like that? Are there any books you read? Is there a TV show that you binge, anything like that?
No, I don't watch TV.
You don't watch TV?
don't
See,
watch
that's
TV.
interesting. Okay. Why do you not? You don't watch any TV?
I feel like because when I had free time before, like I'm not back into my art yet because I just bought a house and moving into that already and all that.
In Tampa.
It's just, so I've been super busy and I've been focusing on OnlyFans. But before it was like, before I started modeling and was super, because modeling, I'm so busy all the time creating content and doing stuff.
Tell him how you started modeling. You saw me on Instagram.
Well, that's not how I started modeling, but it's funny because, it's funny that we're working together now because a few years ago, before I had even started modeling, one of my friends was like in a breakup with this girl and stuff, and he was like dating or whatever, and he was like talking about girls he thought was hot, and this was before I modeled, before I had like a public Instagram, and I saw her on Instagram, and I was like, he was like, well, what kind of girls do you think are hot? Because you don't think the girl that I'm talking to is hot. I was like, this girl. And I pulled up her picture. And I was like, this girl's hot. Like, I think she's... And he was like, oh, my God. And it's weird because, like, years later now I model. We work together. And
You
we're part of the
manifested
same team. It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's energy.
So weird.
You manifested it.
It's so weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wait, so this is a dude that you were just like, that girl you're talking to isn't good enough for you?
So one of my friends was like a good friend. He went through like a really hard breakup.
Yeah.
He was like super emotional about it. So he started dating or whatever and was talking about girls or whatever online. We were looking through girls and being like, this girl's hot, this girl's not hot. And I was like, I think this is the type of girl that I think is hot. And it was her picture that I showed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. CJ, you're like
Didn't you do that?
You're like an icon. Me? No, I didn't do that.
My picture?
I tap your pic. I don't know.
I
I knew who you were a long time ago, but I don't know if there was no Instagram. I don't know. Maybe.
How did you know me?
How did I know you? I probably knew you through Francine. I've met Francine a couple times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been here for 10 years, so I've known Francine. I don't maybe bumped into her like maybe 3 or 4 times ever. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the transition now. We're going to talk about modeling and then Instagram and then OnlyFans. For Instagram, where did you notice a meteoric growth at a certain point? What was it that happened there? What got you into that?
I feel like my Instagram, kind of like started like slow. Like it's still slow to me.
Yeah.
So like I met somebody who had connections like modeling stuff or whatever, hooked me up with photographers.
In Tampa, got it, yeah.
No, I was actually in Vegas.
So Bagley, I saw you got shot with Bagley yesterday.
Yeah, so but I had met somebody who was like, oh, you should get into modeling or whatever. And I was super sick of like dancing, so I kind of transitioned out, which was a big like money cut in general, because like modeling, it's so hard before you make money in it.
Yeah.
And
why were you sick of dancing? Just out of curiosity.
I just was burnt out.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I, when I danced, I made such good money, and I had saved good money to where I was just so comfy that like before, when you're hungry like that, you're going to work all the time. So I was like, I was chilling. So I was like, I'm good. So I don't need like to be there like that.
Yeah.
So, and being an artist, I was always like very passionate about all that kind of stuff. So it was like, I started up photography, realized I didn't like that. It sucked at it because it's too technical. Yeah. Like as an artist, I just want to be able to do things, create. Like photography is hard because you have to like do all this extra shit. You have to know the equipment. It's like too much like learning this knowledge. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Yeah, yeah. So started for a few months like doing photos, and then switched into modeling and just kind of like went with that from there, because it's like, and then I saw that it could be like a business. I saw girls were making money online. I didn't realize before when I first got into it, I was just like, oh, these are my pictures, this is my art. It's like, it's cool. Like, and so then I realized like, oh, there's money into this. So I was like, okay, make this a business. So I kind of pulled from the club and like started like just right. It was 2019, so it was right before the pandemic and all that. So that's just kind of like pushed through with that.
Okay, so when you say make money initially, are you talking about photographers paying you? Or are you talking about sponsors? Like what are you talking about? How are you initially making money as a model?
Well, now I do OnlyFans.
Yeah,
so like
before that, were you making money before OnlyFans? Okay, so OnlyFans
so just dancing, yeah. Like I've never, up until I did Penthouse, I've never made money as like an online model.
Oh, got it.
So
okay, I didn't realize
the only thing I make money off of is my OnlyFans. So like I have a small following on Instagram, so I didn't get gigs, all that, or whatever. So I dropped my OnlyFans.
What caused your Instagram to grow then? If you only had, I don't think you don't have a small following now.
Well, because I was, to me it's small, but I was just like collaborating with photographers.
For you, for this late in the game on IG, for you to have 500,000 followers is a lot.
I don't have 500,000.
Wait, how many do you have? I forgot. No, you're at 100. No, you're at 100.
Yeah, like 100K.
I'm sorry, but still, that's a lot. I remember watching that and like, you understand how hard it is for somebody to grow now? Like I'm telling you right now, you in 2013, you'd have 4 million followers right now.
Yeah.
If it was back then.
It's hard to grow.
Yeah, it's really difficult. So you're doing that, and your page is well put together. I'm not just talking about the pictures of you are good, because they're really good pictures of you, but like it's very there's some planning and thought into this.
I'm anal.
Huh?
I'm anal about it.
Yeah, you're like, as far as a funnel to go to your other stuff. Now, can we talk about that real quick? There's a difficulty. Obviously, you can't put the word OnlyFans anywhere or you get throttled by Instagram.
Right.
How do you handle it? Do you use a second IG and then put the link in there? Like, how do you handle it?
I started using Twitter, and you put the link on Twitter.
Ah, Twitter,
You can like post go to my Twitter on OnlyFans, so it's an easy way.
Yeah.
And that way Twitter is cool because they can kind of see a teaser or whatever before they go there. So
yeah, Twitter's pretty much almost anything goes there, man. It's still pretty wild. Okay.
It's crazy at Twitter.
Yeah, okay, so that's the way you do it. And then there's that, have you had your account ever suspended for anything that you've posted before?
Right when my Penthouse cover dropped, my Instagram went down. I swear somebody reported that was hating on me, all that, for like 2 months, and honestly, like it broke me. I was so devastated because I was making money on OnlyFans, and I know that like doing OnlyFans, I'm sure that I make more money than girls who are modeling and getting gigs and stuff like that. But when I first started, I was like, I wanted modeling gigs, I wanted all that. So it's kind of like, for my Instagram, it was my first publication. Yeah. So like whether it's a lot of money or not, it was exciting for me. It was like I was the first time I was ever in something, and I couldn't even share it with the world because my Instagram went down. And it was like, it was like, you always think it's stupid, and people joke around about like girls whose Instagrams like get deleted and like, oh, this shit sucks. Yeah. That shit sucks.
Yeah. Mine was taken down right before. So I was interviewing Dan Bilzerian, and my IG went down because I was impersonating myself. Apparently, I don't know if you're aware, Travis, I'm impersonating Michael Sartain. I found out.
People report you for that. So I learned that like that's a really easy way that somebody because trying to get my Instagram back, I learned that people will do that, and it's like haters, and they can report you for that, and your Instagram will get taken down immediately.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's insane.
Impersonating yourself?
Yeah, so there's a person.
Somebody can report you and say, you're just impersonating somebody I know, and they'll take your page because they'll believe them.
I'll tell you off air because I know who it is, but there's a person here who just fucking hates me, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Vice article. You can pay $60 and they'll mass report your account. It's super easy. Yeah. There's also Reddit forums.
That's how mine. Somebody had paid for me to be on a hackers list to report. Was it
on Reddit?
I don't know where it was, but I like from word of mouth from people. Somebody put me on a hacker list, so my Instagram went down. Every page I made kept going down. It's like I couldn't. So for 2 months, my Penthouse cover dropped. I couldn't even be on the platform. Yeah. I was like fighting for like everything I worked for, and it was like it sucked. It sucked. It does suck.
And you want to know what made it even more stupid? So I started a new Instagram, right? And my followers are all real. So as soon as I started a new IG, and I put a video at my main thing saying, "Hey guys, I got my Instagram taken down. You should definitely follow this one." It grew so fast that Instagram suspended my new account because they said, "You're clearly cheating. Your Instagram is growing too fast. Therefore, we're going to suspend your account for 12 days." And I was like, "You suspended me for impersonating myself, and then when I have a new account," and like they're not used to it because not for you guys.
And there's nobody to talk to.
There's nobody to talk to. Yeah, there's for male influencers. I don't mean to hate guys, but like male influencers that have more than 100,000 followers, most of them bought them. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like for women, when I see you guys with hundreds of thousands of followers, that makes sense. You should have hundreds of thousands of followers. If you guys saw me and I had 2 million followers, your first thought should be something's wrong here.
Yeah.
He either won The Bachelor or he's a fucking NFL quarterback, but otherwise he should not have that many followers. And then it's like crypto, Bitcoin, FTX,
it's all
Forex, and then you're just like looking at it. It's like, how does this guy have 3 million followers? And then he has like 800 likes on a post. Like, oh, he bought them. So that's essentially what happens. My followers were 100% real. So when I got my account back, it grew. I had 2,000 new followers in the first day, and then they were like, "No, we're shutting your account down. Clearly, you're cheating here." And I was like, "God damn, man,
I've had that happen to me when I made the new account before it got taken down. It was like, because I had it private, so I was accepting all of them. Like, you're accepting too many at once. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know what I found that's really good? I shouldn't even say this out loud, but I'm going to tell you guys anyway. Have a poll. Do you guys want to see me do more of this kind of content? Anyone who says no, block the motherfuckers.
That's what Juju
block the
me.
motherfuckers.
Yes.
Our friend Juju, she taught me that. She's when my first
Juju Baharis from New York.
No, Juju on the beat.
Juju. No, she's just Juju on Instagram.
Juju.
Her original Instagram got deleted. But she's trying to get it back right now. But she was telling me, she's like, that's how you find out your haters are. Like, you do the swipe thing, and people who go low, because those are the people that are fucking with your account. That's what she told me. Juju told me that.
But you got your Instagram back.
Yeah, I finally. So a shout out to Jessica Sanook and Chantel Zales. They both reached out for me.
No way.
And obviously those are both huge influencers. As soon as I lost my IG, they both called me, texted me, and they both helped me. I don't know which one he did, but thank you both. No, and then hold on, what was the other girl? Jojo Von. No, it wasn't Chantel, but thank you, Chantel. It was Jojo Von Salty. Jojo Von Salty reached out for me, and she talked to somebody at IG and I got a message back from her. It's like, you're gonna get your account here back pretty cool soon. And then the guy who's the hater on me, like, I'm sure he's fucking furious now that I got my account back because he can't do that again. He can't.
Imagine like being like so worried about somebody else like that.
Yeah. So we did an episode. If you go back and check episode 5, we do it on narcissism, sociopaths, and people with borderline personality disorder. That's something we discuss a lot. And one of the things we talk about is that this industry, when there's more money, more physical attractive people, more status, you're going to attract more sociopaths. So whereas the normal average of sociopaths, about 4.5, somewhere around there, 3.8 to 4.5% of the population are psychopaths.
I have to watch that.
Yeah, it's about, I think in Vegas, Miami, Los Angeles, it's right closer to 8 or 9% are psychopaths.
Probably, I believe that.
Yeah,
for sure.
or at least some form of narcissism or borderline personality disorder. And so you kind of see the behavior. Because this type of work selects for those type of people, the ruthless, the cruel, right? And the other thing is, like, if you're like, for instance, I just give you an example. Kyrie Irving he was out there saying the earth is flat. He's the point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. Doesn't matter who he is. The point is, he's such a good basketball player. He can say ridiculous shit like the earth is flat. He can get away with it because the guy has the nastiest crossover in the NBA. I can't say that. I'm not going to be able to get. I worked at the U.S. military. If I told the U.S. military I believe the Earth is flat, I'm not going to be able to fly an airplane anymore. I have to work in the real world. A lot of times, if some girls are really, really pretty, they don't necessarily have to believe in things that are reality, and they can just kind of fucking say whatever, and they can just get away with it. But they can also like, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, girls who are very, very like men too, a lack of morality, but because of some form of status, they have money or they're extremely good looking, they just get away with it. They just get away with whatever they're doing, and they're not held accountable. We see that a lot of times in Las Vegas. Fight will break out. Security will go and ask, what is the first thing they ask? Security asks both guys, are you guys staying here? The guy who's staying here, they look him up and they see how much money the guy spent.
Oh, that's
if the guy spent a bunch of money, other guys got to go. Other guys got to get the fuck out of here. If you spend, I'm going to get myself in a lot of trouble. If you drop 100K men at a nightclub and some dude gets in a fist fight with you, I guarantee you they will not kick you out. I guarantee you the other guy's going to get kicked out. And that makes sense.
Even if you're wrong, I've experienced that in clubs too. It's like, they always kick out who is not spending money.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I'm not blaming that, but it's just one of these because I've seen this before where my buddy got into a shoving contest and I was like, we didn't even buy a drink. Let's go. Like they're gonna kick us the fuck out of here. Let's get out of here. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Awesome. So Penthouse, they reach out to you. You reach out to them. How does that work?
So Studio 977 photographer in LA, which I know through one of my best friends. He's a photographer in LA. His name is Benji. Shout out to Benji. But he apprenticed under him or whatever, so we kind of knew each other. So he had messaged me and asked me like, hey, like, do you want to shoot for Penthouse or whatever, like on Instagram? And I was like, yeah, for sure. I'd never met him before, and so it was supposed to be just like a feature. And then he sent my photos and whatever. It was like, this is a girl, and they were like, oh, we want to make her pet. So ended up just like working out like word of mouth. Like I didn't reach out to them, they didn't reach out to me. So it was a photographer that was shooting for them already.
Connected you.
Yeah, connected. Yeah, it was cool.
Have you guys, and obviously you don't have to say any names, had any, so there have been rumors about inappropriate behavior, like a photographer being like, hey, come shoot for Playboy. You already know where I'm going with this. Come shoot for Playboy, and then as soon as you get there, things get really weird and inappropriate. Or come by my place and check out, come to my apartment while I edit these photos, and then they never give you the edits if you don't come by. Have you ever had anything like that happen to you?
No.
But like, have you heard of what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, for sure. I've had people where like when I shot with Penthouse, like it was like really professional.
Of course.
Like it was like really like they spent a lot of money. Like it was like a really like big, like this is kind of like we're not like, you're not drinking on this shoot. You're not like, it's very corporate. It was very corporate. Like it was very professional. But I hear stories like that happening to girls all the time. I've had issues where like people who it's a collab where they're lazy and they don't edit the photos back or whatever, or like after the shoot they've kind of like hit on you multiple times. But like in an actual shoot, like having somebody like harass or do that, like I feel like, and it sucks to say this because like I feel like people know they couldn't try me like that.
There you go.
So it's never happened to me, and I know that I'm sure that I've shot with people that they've tried that to other girls.
Yeah.
But it's like people kind of like, it's like a predator, like they prey, and it's like they know that like they couldn't step to me like that. So it's never really happened to me. And a lot of times when you're setting up a shoot with somebody, you can catch a vibe really quickly in the messages of that like where you know it's gonna be weird. So you're just like, I'm not even fucking shooting with you.
CJ, that's happened to you before?
A lot of times.
Well, so what do you do? What do you do in those situations?
Leave.
You leave? You've left before? To me, this is like a scourge. So like I mentioned before, Kindly is a good friend of mine, and Kindly is so good at like desexualizing a situation because she just makes everything funny. And she's told me these stories, and in her mind, like while it is impressive that she can do what she can do, the reality of the situation is she should never have to fucking deal with this in the first place.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to deal with it.
She shouldn't have to deal with this in the first place. Like that's the problem. And so I bring that up sometimes. Whenever I do photo shoots, we have very strict rules. Number one, men cannot pour women's drinks. Number two, nobody can be alone with the door closed in any one of these shoots. Number three, everybody has to respect each other's space and privacy or whatever. And number four, if you don't get your photos back, I'm the one who's going to contact the photographer. And if you don't want to give her your photos, you're fine. You're just not getting invited to another one of my shoots at the Ignite Mansion or fucking Bilzerian's house. You're not going to get invited back because you didn't get the girls the photos. I try to keep things as open, and because for me, the thing is, as long as you guys are getting your content, that's what's most important. If you're using photography as lead gen for your fucking dating life, you have missed the fucking boat. This is like 2022. If you try to do that, you will get canceled. Yeah. And so a lot of people still don't understand that.
I think before, long time ago,
yeah,
girls are doesn't know their rights
Yeah.
or they're so young.
Yes.
But now girls, we talk. We
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
talk like, don't shoot him, shoot her.
Bro, you're not
So,
lying. Yeah.
It's word of mouth now. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
I've dodged a bullet from just hearing from other girls too.
So
So that's
we
another
just
thing that's
asked-
not happening.
I would really
All my
not
friends.
off the air. I would really like to hear who you're talking about. Yeah, no, that's been an issue.
And yeah, recently too, I went to a podcast, but I don't know if I.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. We don't have to say. I mean, I definitely don't want to like try to call anybody out directly, but that has been an issue that I've seen before, and it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, but I think now that I'm older and I have a name, I can say it like nicely.
Yeah.
And leave.
You know, it's one of these things where like, and I heard Amanda Nicole was on here and she was talking about this. When girls are younger, sometimes they don't realize what their rights are or how.
Yeah,
how
you don't realize that. You don't realize that that's not what other girls do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're young like that, it's like you think, well, they're treating me like this because maybe this is what modeling's like, or even dancing.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what dancing's like. That's why even
Yeah.
like in clubs, like I got lucky whenever getting in clubs because you can't like. There's always kind of like a rivalry between girls who you do extra shit in the club. Like you're like it's
Yeah.
a rivalry because you don't have to do that. But when a girl comes to a club, she doesn't know, and like these
Yeah.
people are taking advantage of her. They're thinking that like so she thinks that this is what it is. And
Yeah.
same with modeling. So it's like when a photographer reaches out to a girl and say they're a big name and she's like, oh my god, I'm so excited to work with them, and the way they're treating her, they think that that's how they treated all the other girls.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, okay, well, like, so they let their guard down or they just deal with it, and it's not fair to them because they don't know, like, because they're so young.
Yeah.
They don't know what the industry's really
Yeah,
like.
they don't
Yeah.
exactly. And like a lot of times being younger is one of the things. There's actually a great book. It's called When Men Behave Badly by Dr. David Buss from University of Texas at Austin. And he wrote this book and he talks about how a lot of times men will specifically go after younger women, not just because they're younger, but because they're not aware of how attractive they are.
Yeah,
They're not,
they don't know.
They don't know that like a lot of times this discrepancy in value, it is the girl who's a perfect 10, who's a waitress at Denny's in Des Moines, Iowa.
The diamond in the rough.
And she's dating the manager, and then they move to Dallas or they move to LA, and then all of a sudden she realizes, oh my God, I'm getting invited to everything.
Right.
This is a sad situation happened. There was a Playmate of the Year at the Playboy Mansion. She brought her boyfriend with her, like from Canada, and then he ended up murdering her. Like there's a
Oh
whole
my
thing.
God.
It's in Hugh Hefner's biography. Really sad situation. It was one of these situations where when they were in the small pond in Canada, it was fine. When they took their relationship to Los Angeles, she kept growing and he kept staying the same. You understand what I'm saying? And it just it's one of these weird. I'm gonna tell you something. It's just me anecdotally. I've never seen this in my life. You guys tell me if you've ever seen it. I've never seen a woman not have a boob job, get into a relationship, get a boob job, stay in the same relationship. I've never seen it happen.
I've seen it happen.
You have? I've
Yeah, I've
you,
seen it happen.
you have
Yeah.
seen it happen? I've never personally seen that happen one time. Every time I see a girl, she's in a relationship, she gets a boob job, she ends up breaking up with her dude eventually.
Yeah, I just got my boob jobs and I got it.
Yeah. No, I mean, but going from nothing to having a boob job. Or the other one is I've never seen a girl, but I'm about to get in a lot of trouble for this one. Girls who move to Vegas without their man, I have never seen them stay together.
Well, yeah, because you move somewhere without your man.
Yeah, but like,
It would be anywhere without your man. You're not going to stay together.
Yeah. I mean, so you understand. Like, I've seen this happen like at least a dozen times where girls will move out here. Oh, I'm just going to work this summer at the pool, and like after one summer, just after getting hit on by Justin Timberlake and George Clooney enough times, they just kind of fucking. I'm leaving him. I'm staying
Well,
here.
it's not even that, but it's like you're moving somewhere new, and even if you like or have feelings for that guy, like you've got so much going on. You're exploring
Yeah.
a new city, you're exploring a new job, you're exploring so much new personal growth that
Yeah.
it's not even really about the other guys. It's that personal growth and freedom
Yeah.
to where you're gonna drift apart from whoever you're with.
Yeah.
Like it's not about even the guys or like people's money. It's about like just having your freedom and doing your own thing, and like this is striking your interest. You're going a different direction. You're changing. You're
Yeah.
growing as a person.
Yeah, you're growing
Yeah.
apart. Got it. Makes sense. Awesome. All right. So now we do Penthouse. Where would you say did that? This was you had lost your account when in December of 21 you did not have your account.
Yeah.
When you got your account back, did you notice a growth? Did you notice any?
No, because when my Penthouse cover dropped, I had like a backup like secret account
Yeah.
that had everybody like tag or whatever, but I was not accepting people because I didn't
Yeah.
want the person who was reporting me to.
Do you know who
find
it is now? Who's hating on you?
I've got like ideas of a couple people who it could have been.
Is it a girl maybe you used to work with or some shit or
Yeah, for
somebody
sure.
some
Yeah, for sure.
and her man is subscribed to your OF something
No,
like that?
nothing like that. No.
Oh, okay.
She couldn't get she can't find a man.
She can't find a man
find a
that
man.
has. Hey, she can't find a man that has enough money for the $3.50 swipe up for
Not
31
like
days.
that, but she's too much to deal with.
Yeah.
But no, not really.
Yeah.
not a growth in it, but I didn't really get to share with the world that it was like there. But it was cool because I was traveling, still going to Miami, work with girls with OnlyFans. So it's like I got to see my magazine in the airport. So like to me,
That's
like that was
incredible,
cool
man.
because like you see a lot of girls, they do like the Playboy or whatever, and it's like the paid things where they paid to be on the cover.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like, this is real. Like I was in a magazine that's a real magazine. It's being printed in stores. Like I'm at the fucking airport. Like it was a really cool
Couldn't
experience.
even imagine. Did you take a picture with it?
Oh
Like,
yeah, every time.
For sure. Every time you see it?
Every time I went to the airport, I would go and I'd look at it for sure. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
It was super cool to me.
Nice. All right. So now here's the question: There's a lot of people are a lot of people are going to want to know your transition into OnlyFans. When you first discover it, when you first decide to do it, and then when you decide to go this level, this level, this level, this level, what were these decisions like for you?
So I started OnlyFans not understanding what OnlyFans really was. And so like I started OnlyFans before the pandemic. So I was modeling whatever and I was like, oh, people are making money off this. So like I'll make one. But I thought it was like it was different than what I thought. Like I was like, and when I first started, I didn't even hear about the girls that were making, like it just wasn't like mainstream where girls were making all this money. But I started and I was like, I'm making modeling, so I was putting all the extra photos on there, doing everything wrong, but just like was like, oh, I'm doing this. And then I moved to Miami and I realized like there was so much more money into it. So I started networking and learning different things. One thing led to another. Before I was only like, oh, I'm doing topless, oh, I'm doing nude. Now like I have full porn on my OnlyFans.
Okay, so
it just kind of like you take those steps. But for me, because like I've always been like I'm comfortable with it, like not like something where it's like I decided like, oh, I need to do this to make money.
Yeah.
It was more of like, oh, this is what they want, and I didn't know.
Got it.
Like, so to me, I feel like a lot of girls think that like, oh, well, I have to do this on OnlyFans to make money or whatever. No, I think if you know your account and know your market, you can make money. For me, I made the transition because I realized that, oh, that's what they want. Like, so when you first start, the hardest part, whether you have a big following or a small following, is knowing what people buy. Like with the podcast you guys said, the JOY, you don't know what that is. Dick ratings, you don't know what that is, so you don't really like.
Why do I have to teach you how to jerk off?
It's a whole
How come
new
I have to
world.
teach you how to jerk off? Don't you have a dick? Why do I have to teach?
It's a whole new world, so you kind of just
Yeah.
like realize like, oh, that's the kind of content. Like, so to me, I feel like any advice I'd give to a girl who has an OF that doesn't know she's doing well would be like, think about the content that people want to buy. Because when I first started, I was selling dumb shit that like, I was like, it's not selling because they didn't want it. Like, that's not what they wanted.
Did you copy? So Kylie Myers, she tells me once a week she subscribes to a different girl's OF and she will steal the shit out of the stuff she sees. Did you ever do that? Did you ever like steal captions?
I don't steal the captions, but I would, when I first started, I would like subscribe to girls' OF and see kind of like how it worked, like to see like how they're posting.
Dude,
things like that.
the captions are vile, bro. They're vile. My friends were showing me just squirt emoji, like it just, they're just and I'm like, and I know that like it'll be like a girl I know, and I'm like, she would never say this shit, and it's so funny, but like I'm sure it works because it's been A/B. This is $1 billion. This company does $4 billion in revenue every year. Of course, like obviously this stuff has all been A/B tested to figure out what works. But when you see it, it's just so crazy to me. Now, here's the thing. The first time you post nude is after Penthouse on OnlyFans or before?
Before I was posting nude on my OnlyFans.
Okay, so
before,
my
but it was
question,
just like extra like toy stuff or whatever. But when I started in Penthouse, I was already like, I've had girl videos, boy girl videos like on my OF already. It was already a thing.
So let me ask you something. The first time you do post something nude on the internet, did you have any emotions about it? Did you have any feel? You're just totally fine with this, whatever, because you had danced previously, or you're just so comfortable being naked?
I danced previous, and it's too like also like my family like. I feel like a lot of girls, I know, like my family, like we didn't get along when I was younger or whatever, but I have a good family. Like we didn't grow up with everything, but I have a really good mom. I have a really good dad. Like, and we're all open and we're all hustlers and we're all very much so like, it doesn't matter what you do. You're my family. So I know you're going to back me, whatever. Like I could be dead wrong and my mom will throw hands for me still. Like, so it's just different. So to me, I know that like, if I'm carrying myself good and I'm being productive towards like, they ain't going to like it, but they're going to know, well, she's got her bills paid.
I'm talking about you though. For you had no compunction.
But that's why I didn't, because I feel like a lot of girls, they're not comfortable because like, oh my God, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me because my family's supportive. So why the fuck would I give about somebody else who's not related to me?
Did you have any issues with it the first time you posed nude? No. Online? No. Because Nara, I asked Nara, I was like, first time you did guy girl, were you worried about it? She's like, the only thing I was worried about is how my asshole looked on camera. I didn't want it to look crazy. She's like, I was like, but weren't you worried? Like, this is the first time you're posting guy girl. She's like, absolutely didn't care at all. It was not a big deal. The reason why I bring this up, I'm not being critical. We've actually had a therapist on here, and she talks about frequently, I think OnlyFans is 95% good. because it takes women who could be in very compromising situations and gives them agency. And my friend, and we're going to have her on again, she's a therapist. She was like, I don't think OnlyFans is 95% good because there's a lot of times these girls, they would normally want to be doing something else, but they're doing this instead. And I'm like, babe, I don't think you understand. There's some girls here who would be fucking their husband and filming it anyway for free, and now they're getting paid for it. The idea that they're being extorted for this is not realistic. And like once you meet girl after girl after girl who feels like this, and like again, the situation with Nara and the situation, like again, nobody extorted Tahlia Paris into getting topless. I hang out with Tahlia Paris. We go on shoots together, and she doesn't wear fucking clothes ever. She comes to dinner naked. She doesn't wear. I thought she was going to do my podcast topless, and I was going to have to blank out her boobs. She's crazy how often this woman, like she yeah, if you want, yeah, for sure. But she like some women want this, and like the idea is like, no, you. This is why I have a huge problem with what Instagram does. If Instagram is showing me something I shouldn't see, I can block them, right?
Right.
I could. Yeah. I'm a grown man. I can pick who the fuck I block. You don't have to block them for me. So why are you telling? So why you're telling me? Oh, you can't wear that outfit on Instagram because it's sexually suggestive. Wait a second. Don't you get to suggest who you have sex with? Why the fuck does Instagram get to suggest who you have sex with?
I feel like with Instagram though, and same kind of with like there's like the controversy with all the OnlyFans stuff, because it's a platform where like doesn't matter what age you are, you can access it. Yeah. So you have to kind of think of the platform standpoint to where there is a lot of people on Instagram that I see, because the fucked up thing about Instagram is that it's a computer algorithm. Yeah. Like, so when you're trying to get your page back, it's hard because there's nobody to fucking talk to. Right. Like, I got lucky and met somebody that worked for Instagram who was super helpful, and like, they didn't do anything extra. They just was like, okay, with somebody, a point of contact, because it's so hard to get in touch with somebody there. So it's like with Instagram, the rules, the problem is that the rules should be there for sure, but the algorithm is fucked up. Because I see people posting some nasty ass shit. Yeah, on
IG, and you're so confused. Yeah, like how did they get to keep
literally,
this?
Like you have like a butt plug in, with like emojis, like you're naked or
Britney
whatever.
Spears shit.
And I don't judge or whatever, but I understand like with like legally with like child porn and things like that happening, they are like the whole idea of it is to protect the platform from being exploited.
What about not safe for work, like what Reddit does? NS not safe for work. They have an opt-in. So the way Reddit works is, and I promise you should check it because a bunch of your content on OF is probably on Reddit. Yeah,
I've seen it.
But if you go to somebody's and there's porn, it says not safe for work, NSFW, right?
What is that?
So you'll click in and it's like, would you? This content is not safe for work. Do you still want to watch it? And then you get to opt in to watch it. Does that make sense?
So, so Instagram has implemented that on certain posts. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have, but it's very few.
It's very few, but I feel like their algorithm, and I don't like it either, but I feel like it's set up to where, because an 8-year-old could have an Instagram and be on his phone.
But they're not, according to the terms of service, an 8-year-old is not supposed to have Instagram.
It's not, but you don't know what their parents are like having them have.
But the problem is then Pornhub is beholden to the same rules. At some point, a parent needs to take some fucking.
But I understand though, because like I understand why their reasoning of trying to filter things out is because people post crazy things on the internet, and like they're trying to protect. Because you got to think they're gonna get the shit suit out of them if they get any kind of like traction like that.
While I understand what you're saying, what about the last 9 years when they weren't doing that? The thing is, like, they made their platform off of her images.
No, I agree.
So how the fuck, like, and now all of a sudden, oh guys, we want to be socially responsible. No, you don't. You want Ford and fucking Mercedes-Benz to be advertisers.
It's a money thing.
And it's hard. It's hard because you don't have to pay for people to look at your IG, but Ford does. And that's the reason that scares them, that you get so much attention, but yet their whole platform is based off you.
These creators, these people, that's what made Instagram popular. Yeah.
And then,
but it's like the bigger the business, the more they have to worry about now, like protecting it, you know? Like, I'm not agreeing with them. There's so many different ways you could cut up the pie and be like why they're doing the things that they're doing. Yeah. But the main thing is always going to be money. It's like the people are making money off Instagram and they don't like it. Yeah. But as for like the regulation of the sexual rules and stuff like that, there's so many people on there that you don't know who it is. Where it's like they have to protect their thing because like there's kids, you know?
Hi. Come.
Awesome. All right. So now let's go the next step. So you do nudes, and then like the first time you do girl, I'm just curious, like how do you pick who you work with? It's just somebody you like?
I just messaged somebody on Instagram and like, hey, do you want to work with me? Yeah. Like I would find other girls in my area in Miami that had like OnlyFans, and I'd reach out to them and be like, see if they want to collab. Yeah. Like her.
Yeah. And that's what happened. And of course, you know, she probably attacked you as soon as you walked in the door. CJ Miles.
How did we meet?
We met through another friend that we were like that was working with her. We met one of the it's funny because I had a photographer friend that when I first started shooting, and I started my OnlyFans, was like, he knew her, he shot with her or whatever, and he's like, I was like, I want to work with this girl or whatever. I was like, can you message her and see if she wants to work with me? And she was like, she messaged back, she goes, when she gets her fans and following up or whatever. And I was like, okay, because I just started, like, she's a big entity, you know. And then like months later, we end up meeting another photo shoot, connecting, and now like we work together. It's great.
Okay, cool. And that's generally how you would find females to film with.
Yeah, you message them on Instagram. That's how everybody does it. You just kind of like hit up a girl and be like, hey, do you want to work and make content? Most girls, you know. Is it the same thing for guys you film with? Or is it somebody you're seeing? Or like, how would that work? I got hoes. Huh? I know them. I know them already. I don't message people all like random, but like it's the content I have that is for girls. I know that person very well. Oh, no, okay. Well, my point is, this was somebody you were seeing before. You understand there's like steps you'd have to go through. Like, so I know some. Yeah, I would never just film. I would never film boy girl with like just anybody. Right. Yeah. Okay. When you're doing that, so you understand like for a lot of girls. So I know one girl in particular. We won't say who it is. Every video is this is the Uber driver and this is the fucking pizza delivery guy. But it's the same guy in every video, and that's fine. That's no. No, it's not. Huh? No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm snitching. I'm snitching. I apologize. But that was definitely my Tinder date, and that was definitely the Uber Eats driver. And like, we don't know. Get that money, girl. Like, get that money. What are you talking about? Hey, Uber driver, apply. Uber driver, apply. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, my neighbor. You guys move next to me. Yeah, neighbor. That's it. Okay, so that answers my question. So because the thing is, no, it doesn't. It's a fantasy. So here's the thing. Like, I plan on asking Destiny when she comes here because Destiny came from a traditional porn background to go to an OnlyFans porn background. And in one of the cases, did she know who she was going to film with? Was it just a picture, or did she show up on set and not even know? And now, because she has her own agency, when I mean agency, like her own decision making. Yeah, she runs herself. Yeah, she runs herself. Now she picks who she films with, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? And so like, how different is that? Would you pick someone from the industry? Would you pick someone that you were just dating? Like how would that whole thing go down? Because I promise you a lot of dudes want to know the answer to this question. Well, with OnlyFans, it's kind of like, it's different because it's not like with a porn company to where they're like, we're filming a boy-girl video today. It's kind of like just more of like, you wake up, you create, you collab. It's not really like, I need to get this content. It's just like, I'm working and it's happened, you know? That's what Nara said. She's like, we just came home from the club and we're like, with this girl, we brought this girl home. We're like, let's film. And that was it. That's how they made their content. It's not strict. It's not as structured, right? Yeah, sometimes it's just no makeup on. You guys just had some drinks and you're watching Netflix and like, let's just film. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get some makeup on, but you got makeup on. Okay, cool. I don't know. No offense, I haven't seen, so I don't know. But yes, that makes sense. Okay, cool, got it. All right, so that's how you would choose that. That makes a lot of sense. Is there? Do you? So I've heard some girls concerned. So again, bring Nara up again because she was on with us. She said she was her initial boy girl she sold for $1,000. Do you remember this? What was how much was your initial one? 2,000. 2,000. Right? And she's like, she goes, and what did Nara say? She goes, you can come watch me fuck for $20 now. She said something like that. I was like, oh my God. Dude, she's my favorite, man. She's awesome. It's $3.99. You can come watch me right now. Are you concerned about that? Because so the same thing that happened in the strip club, I watched it also. Beautiful girl. I would bring a girl. So I would manage a strip club and I would go get a girl who was dancing at another club. She wasn't happy. I was like, come to my club. And she would come to my club and I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to introduce you to the big clients or whatever. And her number one complaint was the same thing you said, the dirty girls. The dirty girls then all of a sudden what they're willing to do for like next to nothing screws it up for her. In the same situation in OnlyFans where everybody's doing this, are you concerned about the money, the money situation with so many other people doing this? No, because it's like a free game. In the club, it's different because if you're offering something that's not allowed there, then you're undercutting everybody. Got it. If OnlyFans, it's whatever you want, your own place. Like I don't really worry about what other girls are selling or anything like that, the kind of content, because everybody just does what they're comfortable with. Yeah. Like, it's all about the clickbait anyway. So it's just, isn't it crazy? Yeah. So to me, I don't think of it as competition like that or worry about what people do because you have I think everything should be legal that you want to do. Like, it's your body, your life, whatever. I don't judge. When I worked in the club, I just don't like it if you do that in the club because it's not fair to compete with It's not the rules that you're playing by. Yeah, it's like, could we all just play by the same rules? But OnlyFans, it's all the same rules for everybody. You can do it or you're not. So it's like, it's different. It's like cheating at a video game. Yeah, for sure. I could totally understand that. Cool. What did you see as the future for you as far as this is concerned? Like, what do you mean?
Or like just continuing to film? Is there anything else you want to grow into? You mentioned before about an NFT.
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
like
dropping an NFT line with my little sister. She does like digital art. So we're working on that right now. But it's about to get minted and stuff soon. So
minted, is it Ethereum blockchain? Do you know which blockchain you guys are using for the minting?
We're gonna do OpenSeas, but there's so much controversy right now with that. So it's kind of like we're still figuring it out. We're still getting the Discord set up and all that. So there's just a lot of tech stuff we're getting into.
Well, tell me. I have a couple of Discord.
I'm just starting my Discord, so I'm new to it. So it's very to me it's very confusing.
Well, when this episode comes up, you are going to be all over my Discord for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Cool,
Yeah.
awesome.
So the other thing is with the NFT. So what's her name? Chloe Teray was here. And CJ Sparks is here, and they're both with Taboo Token. They will not pose nude anymore unless it is an NFT. Kindly Myers.
It's crazy. People, you can actually do that now.
Yes.
It's so cool for creators. Like,
Kindly Myers has one NFT out. She's never posed nude. It is $700,000. That's the opening offer for it. She's never posed nude before. So she would get, I can't remember what, at least $70K because you get 10% of each transaction of the NFT. Are you doing something like that? Is it you posing or is it your artwork? What is the NFT?
So the NFTs is Meta Mermaids. So it's like an art collab with me and my little sister. So she drew up and did all the stuff. So it's all mermaids. It's art. It's not me. And so like we're not like with anybody agency or whatever. Like we're minting ourselves and like setting up. So it's like it wouldn't be the same thing where it's a percentage. Like we'd get whatever we sold it for.
Yeah, generally every time your NFT is transacted, 10% of it goes back to the creator.
Yeah, you could. Well, if you set it up like that, you got to make sure you set up like that because it doesn't. But so if it resells, but the initial sell, like we're gonna get
the full price, of course. One other thing I want to point out: you look like your photos. Congrats!
Oh, thanks!
Congratulations! Like you have no idea. Like there's some awkward moments that have happened on this fucking show before. Anyway, I just want to say that you look like your photos.
Yeah.
Good job.
She looks just like her photos.
Of course,
too.
dude. You never believe she's taller in person though. That's the only difference.
Thanks.
That's the only difference.
People think I'm tall in my photos, and then when they see me in person, they're always like, "You're short."
Are you 5'1"?
I'm 5 foot.
You're 5. Really?
Yeah.
You must be on some big heels because you look a lot taller than her. She's 4'7", right?
I look huge next to her. I'm short. Should I stand up?
That's crazy. Wait. Damn, you're 5 even? I get. Well, okay, cool. Crazy. Yeah. I remember when I was 5 feet tall, I was 11. All right, so let's see here. So you start talking about 2 years of grinding online before you actually start making money. So there's probably, I'm telling you, there's a lot of girls watching this. You found a successful way to make money on OnlyFans. Can you talk about the mistakes you made up until the efficiency that you found now?
So with OnlyFans, it's hard because this is one thing that's very controversial because I get super pissed off when like you see all these memes on the internet of people joking around about being like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and start an OnlyFans. OnlyFans is so hard to make money on. Like girls I know with millions of followers don't do as well as me sometimes. Some do as better. Like, you know, it's so hard to make money online. And like for me, like it took for me a long time to make money on there because I was coming from a world of dancing to where I was killing it. Like I was making so much money. So it's a pay cut, but I was always good with money. I saved money to where I could really like transition out and like it wasn't gonna like I was chilling. Like I was chilling. Like to where I know a lot of girls who they'd strip still. They're like, oh, I started OnlyFans. It's not working. I'm not doing well. I'm not making money because they don't realize it just takes a long time and they don't have the patience for it. But for me, I've heard of it. I've seen other girls, knew other girls had friends that were making money to where I knew like it just takes time. But it took, oh shit, my necklace came out. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
But it's not something where it's a quick buck. It's really a long time to make money on there.
Sometimes girls are so used to like with people.
Fast money.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about this? I have one friend, she's an influencer. She had never shot nude before, and her boyfriend got her to shoot nude, and then she did guy girl with her boyfriend. She does have several million followers. The first video she did, she told me she made $125,000 off that video. She ended up like breaking up with the guy, and then she was put into this weird situation where she needed to film again. So she goes back to this toxic fucking dude. She films again, but she does not make $125,000 the next time she does it. And I'm curious with you, the first time you post guy girl, is there like a precipitous decline in how much you get for it, or do you have to keep amping up the stakes, or what?
For me, because it's different, like you hear those stories, and that's such a far and few in between story for a lot of girls. Because to me, like when I first started doing like the few boy girl videos that I have or whatever, like it didn't really make a big difference than the other content. It's
Really?
just
It wasn't that
content.
much more?
No, because like once you're already like if you've got if you're somebody online, she's somebody online, she's an entity online. I've got a lot of followers, but people don't know me, so I'm not known. People aren't waiting for it. Like I'm newer to the industry and stuff like that, and so that's why girls think that like when I transitioned from dancing to OnlyFans, my hardest thing was like working at a club. Like when I worked at a club, I was like, okay, make $100 of every single person you talk to 10 people, you just made $1,000. Talk to 30 people, you'll make $3,000. Getting $100 out of somebody isn't hard, but OnlyFans, like when I started, I was like trying to sell everything for 100, 200, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's not the kind of clientele that's on there. And like for girls that have like such a big following to where like you see these girls where they're they're celebrities or whatever, YouTube girls, and they drop an OF and they blow up, they make like a 3 million or whatever. It's because there's somebody online already. Like for girls who are not like me, like I wasn't. So like for me, like I didn't make that much off of doing anything extra. It's just good. Like people are more likely to open and buy it, but it's not something that like, and I feel like a lot of girls get that mistake too, where they get into this industry thinking that like, if I do this, I'm going to blow up. So you need to keep in mind, if you're a girl who's starting an OnlyFans and you're not somebody online very big or whatever, you could hustle and you can make money, but don't think that you got to go that extra mile to make extra money, because when you don't, you're going to be disappointed. Yeah. Like to me, I'm not disappointed because I'm okay with it, but it's very few and far in between cases like that where people actually blow up and make a ton of money off of, I have boy girl. So many girls have boy girl on their OnlyFans. Yeah. Like you got to be somebody super special to like be like, I made $20,000 off my one boy girl video. Like you got to be somebody.
Do you though notice a difference in how much or frequently or how much you charge? Because I know like one girl, she's like, she told me $8 for photos or whatever. When I do guy girl, it's $35. Do you notice a difference? Like people are more willing to buy it?
It's weird because like the fans are so different. Mm-hmm. Like it's very diverse. Like boy girl, usually like of course people are more likely to unlock it and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's a lot of fans on there that don't like boy girl. Really? They don't want to see you
because they don't want to see you with another guy.
They don't want to see you with another guy, so they don't unlock it and stuff like that. It's really just kind of like based on like the preference of the fans, and they're all different. Like they're all different. When these girls are saying that they're dropping a crazy video like that, they're getting so much volume because people just want. It could have been anything crazy. Like they're just, oh my God, this girl that I know of, I'm gotta see this. So that's why they're getting so much volume. It wouldn't matter if that video was a girl video. It wouldn't matter if that girl's a boy girl video, solo video, squirting video, fuck machine video. It wouldn't really matter. It's like they have that traction. I don't have that traction like that. So it doesn't.
Well, you will after this podcast. You're gonna have all that traction, 100%.
I'm gonna make $20,000 a video.
There, per video. So I talked to some people. Tucci, who lives here, she films sometimes. The rule with her, I think, is if you film with her, like she has to post it first, and then she'll sell it, and then you can sell it. The thing is, like Tooch can sell stuff for like way cheaper because she has such a fucking huge following. And then I've heard the other girls, and they'll sell it, and they'll have to sell it for more because they have the same following. It doesn't really work like that. It doesn't?
No.
With the more cheaper you sell, the more money.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right, but for her, I had heard girls complain that like, well, for her, it was not specifically Tucci, but like they'll be with somebody else who's got a bigger following, and they will sell it for a lower price. See,
her and I work together all the time, and we have videos all the time. When I do collabs, and we usually don't ever be like, I sell this first or whatever. We don't. We just sell, because with OnlyFans, like with their algorithm and like their DMs, they're like, it's fucked. So a lot of times people are sending out like, you could have tons of fans. The open rates of people actually seeing your message because their servers glitch so much or so low that like she can sell the video the same day as I sell, but it's like it's just different fans, and like and we have similar fan count or whatever, you know. So it's kind of like it doesn't matter what she sells it for because the different clickbait. It's all about the different clickbait. Fans. It's different fans.
Well, I mean, two people selling the same video, if they don't sell it for the same price,
there's so many.
Or if you want to sell it for $100, then the open rate is like $3. When I sell it for $4, it's like 400,000.
But there's so many people on like that's why OnlyFans had all this crazy controversy, is because there's out of all the social media platforms, they have the most users, and like they're like people think in the U.S. it's like they're like international, worldwide. So it's like your open rates where it's like the same people aren't even opening and looking at it. So it's like, it doesn't really matter. Like there really isn't competition in the DMs like that. So when girls try to set those, like, it's like you have completely different fans than I do that don't even know your page. So what I sell my video for and what you sell, it doesn't even fucking matter. You could sell at the same time as me. It really doesn't matter. And we're going to recycle the video and resell and make money off that content long term anyway. So it's really like girls try to be like that and they think like, cause they're like, but really that doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's like, that's like a real, honestly, to me, that's bad advice.
Yeah.
It's like to be like, don't coordinate this is your business. Whatever that girl wants to sell her videos for and whatever you want to, that's your video. It's your content. Don't feel like you got it.
Fans.
Yeah. It's your fans.
Got it. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Man, CJ, you're just a big ball of energy. You, CJ.
You can feel me.
Yeah, I can feel your energy right here. There's blah, 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 blah.
She's like the funnest person. I don't think I've ever met a more fun person than CJ Miles.
I agree with you.
Nobody would ever say any different.
Yes, I agree with you.
Different.
All right, so
You're so fun.
is there something that you are? You mentioned before about buying property. You mentioned before about NFTs. Is there something people don't know about you that you're really proud of?
My house I just bought.
Okay, tell me about that.
So I just bought my first house, and to me, like, it was, like, I've always wanted to buy my first house or whatever, and it was kind of like, it's just cool. It's like a feeling of like security to where like now it's like kind of like before I bought the house and when I was dancing or whatever, I was like always like grinding to make money, and I had because like I wanted to buy a house. When you're a dancer and stuff like that, like you can make the most money, but it's like all that tax shit, all that other shit, whatever like that, and I was like, you can't get into anything.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So to me, like learning how to get through those steps and like really going through and actually like accomplishing that like was cool for me. And it's something I've always wanted and stuff. It's just like it's peace, you know?
Yeah. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay, so I have to do this real quick because I thought this was interesting. I Googled, she is the 2021 Penthouse Pet of the Month for the month of December.
Vote for me for Pet of the Year.
Pet of the Year. So we're going to make sure we're going to put that link. Make sure you send me the link so I can put it in the bio, okay, in the description. So here's the thing. I briefly worked for Playboy Plus, and we did those Cyber Girl of the Year. And when we did the Cyber Girl, they do the Q&As, right? And I actually would say the question, and they would answer on camera. Does that make sense? Right? I was the guy who did that. I would film the interviews. So we have your interview here. This is so exciting. So we're gonna ask the question, and then we're gonna answer it, and then we're gonna respond to like what we say about this. So first off, I didn't realize it says here that you're 5'1", so that's interesting. You said you're about 5 feet.
I feel like I'm 5 feet 5'1". Like it depends. I feel like I don't
what
know.
Day
Like,
it is.
I'm pretty sure that I'm like maybe
day.
like a little over 5 foot.
Yeah.
Because I have other friends that are 5 foot and like we're like the same height.
Yeah.
And then friends that are 5'1" that I'm like, you're so much taller than me. So I put just 5'1" because
Yeah,
like,
so
I don't know.
it's 5'1". Yeah, so much taller.
5'1".
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, fun fact.
We're like this much.
See,
We're arguing over this.
Do you hate underwear? Is that true?
I don't like to wear underwear.
You don't like to wear underwear? Okay, I like it. It's for certain reasons.
I feel like I don't even own a lot of underwear.
Yeah, just for
either
photo shoots.
because when I dance and stuff, so anytime I'd buy underwear, or like even like photo shoots, it's all like stuff that's like I couldn't wear under my clothes anyway. So it's like I never wear underwear.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't have any on right now.
Why did you decide to shoot for Penthouse? You said you always wanted to be a pet.
So I've always wanted to be published in either Penthouse or Playboy. And it just kind of like came to me, and I was super excited. I was
Hey, the 74 Playboy recruiters that watch this show right now, go ahead and hit her up right after we're done with this. She wants to do Playboy. Got it? Perfect. Make
the
sure
real
that happens.
Playboy though, because I hear there's like the fake Playboy.
It's not fake.
thing.
It's not fake. What happens is, so the corporate office is in Chicago, right? And that corporate office, it was run by, or it's currently run by Hugh Hefner's daughter. And then the mansion was part of that entity, and then Hugh Hefner was obviously part of that entity as like the chairman. The mansion was sold. Hugh Hefner passed away. And his widow is Crystal Hefner.
Right.
The main Playboy group is in Chicago. Then there's Playboy Plus that at one point was owned by a company called Mind Geek out of Montreal.
Right.
And that's where you saw the Cyber Girl of the Year and all that stuff. Playboy
those
Radio.
like the least named scam ones. You know what I'm talking
Okay,
about?
so now you're talking about
different.
so
Yeah,
so now
that's what you should like. I don't want to because there's so many photographers. The photographer scam people reach out. There's like $8,000. Like people these girls pay a lot of money.
So yeah,
it's crazy.
So let's talk about that. So what happens now is that they license themselves out. So you see Playboy New Zealand, Playboy South Africa, Playboy Iceland, all these different places where they have Playboy, and they may produce some actual physical copies of the magazine. I don't know how many they actually do.
I know that Playboy doesn't Playboy doesn't print anymore. Like that's what they're saying.
The physical print, I don't know. I'm not aware.
They recently just stopped printing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing about those is that a lot of times, and this is actually, I think it was Kindly who explained this to me. Kindly has never had to pay for a cover. She gets paid to do covers.
Yeah.
But the other girls in that year, they will pay to be in the same magazine. So a lot of girls will have. Sorry if I'm snitching on anybody, they'll have the sugar daddies pay some fucking dude for them to get put on the cover of some magazine. And this happens vociferously, like a lot. And then I know some girls who are big models who are already published, and they're also paying to go onto the cover of some of these magazines. I feel like
that is like, I'm super against that, because to me, like, whether the girl pays for it or they have somebody else pay for it or not, it's like these I've had people reach out to me all the time for it to me, and like, I'm not gonna pay to be in your magazine or whatever. Like, that's why the Penthouse thing was cool to me. It was like, this is a paid gig, you know, like this. I was like, this is awesome. But these girls, like, it's expensive to buy those covers. Like, a feature of one of them is like $4,000, like, to get a cover or whatever, which they don't even print. And it's like something where it's like, it's not a source. There's no real publicity for it. And it's like, what I'll send you is like $8,000. So these girls are using $8,000 to invest into your business because you think that this is really going to be beneficial for you. I don't give a fuck who you are. $8,000 is a lot of money.
Yes.
So it's like,
that's like, you're like 12 guy girl videos that you have to sell for fucking $3.
No, like, but to anybody, and a lot of these models, when I transitioned to the modeling world, I feel like I did better with my OF because I was always a hustler. I worked in clubs. So these girls who are models, they open OF and they don't have that mentality. So to them, like, that's a lot of money, and like they've had to, like, it didn't come fast for them. So for them to invest that into something that doesn't benefit them, and somebody's promising them, like, they're just like, because the photographers, I'm sure they get a cut. They hustle those deals. It's like all the time. So that's why I was like, which is the real one and which is the not? Because to me, I think that's wrong. Like, to spend $8,000 into your business and like give that up, and it does absolutely nothing for you because there's no traction online for doing those covers. There's absolutely nothing. Like, you get no publicity. Yeah,
I actually had a conversation with Jamie Villamore a while ago. She was on the cover of FHM. They obviously paid her. She's stunning. And then she found out that other people were paying to be on the covers, and she was actually very concerned about it and called me and asked me questions about it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the industry now. But the reason why the industry has pivoted that way is because nobody buys physical magazines anymore.
Well, that's why I like Penthouse, because Penthouse, they don't, like, you can't pay to be in Penthouse. Yeah. And when they, like, I know girls that have sold sets of their photos to Penthouse, to where it's like, if it's featured things, like, they bought it. So like, they're not like, that's why I think it's cool. Like, they're good company. Like, they're paying the girls. Like, they're one of the last magazines that are still doing that way.
Amanda Nicole came on here one time, and she does almost everything on her OnlyFans. And one time she got hired by Brazzers to do one scene with her boyfriend, and she talked about doing that. Would you ever consider doing that?
Like porn?
Yeah, traditional thing with somebody you picked.
No, just because like I know like what girls get paid to do. Like,
yeah, she said it wasn't very much.
It's like $2,000, whatever is a good rate for like a porn video. To me, it's like, you're gonna sell and make money off that forever. I could make that off my own video and stuff like that. And it's like, unless it was supposed to be like some crazy publicity and I would blow up, it would have to be promising. But to me, it's like, I just don't have to. I just don't have to put myself in this situation. Like, I'm not hurting to step my foot in the door in this industry right now. So it's like, she
said she did not find it to be a pleasant experience. She was on the set for a very, very long time, and it wasn't like it was just way too inorganic for her. But
because a lot of it is like, it's uncomfortable.
All right, here we go. Let's see if this one's real. Ready? Okay, your favorite type of music, EDM and classic rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that? Okay, your favorite workout is sexy time. Your favorite workout is sexy time. So your favorite workout is having sex?
No, I don't really work out.
You don't work out? You don't work out. Okay, we could have done an hour on this. Get the fuck out of here. What steroids are you on, girl? You don't work out?
I need to, though. Like,
is there clenbuterol in the fucking? What are you drinking? Anavar? What? How? You don't work out at all?
What do you mean? I don't have any muscles.
Yeah, but you're tiny. Really?
There's such a thing as just being petite, but the thing is, though, like, that's not always just good. Like, you know, like there is such thing as being too skinny. So like, I need, like, I've worked out and gone through waves of doing it, but I'm so bad with it to where it's like I'll like pick it up and I'll do it like a couple of times and then like quit for a few months. So I need to though. I want to hire a personal trainer right now. I'm looking for a female personal trainer.
That's probably a good idea.
Anybody who's a female personal trainer in Tampa Bay.
But if it's a guy personal trainer, it'll end up being a video. It's like, oh look, what weird personal trainer shows up at my door.
Even if it's a girl personal trainer.
Hey, you know what? She doesn't
That's more likely.
No hate. Just don't discriminate. Have you ever had your estrogen and testosterone checked?
No.
I'm always interested whenever I meet, because I've told you before, I think like I have some female friends, like I think Caitlin Runk probably has super high testosterone, but like she's still like very feminine, but like we'll hang out and she'll eat like shit and she's so ripped all the fucking time. Like I think there's some girls that just have higher testosterone. She
just said like an ectomorph, like she's just like
so you're referring to constitutional psychology.
Yeah, like it's just I'm just a small person to where it's like if I eat bad or eat less, like I just like wither away to where it's very hard for me to gain weight.
Yes.
Because I'm small. So like that's why it's like for me, if I want to get bigger, like I have to work out. Otherwise I can't even put on weight. I could eat as much as I want and I won't like put on the weight. But if I have to build the muscle.
Well, a lot of times that has to do with your thyroid.
I'm not an active person.
And a lot of times that has to do with your thyroid and your hormones. What she's talking about is constitutional psychology. So it's endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph. Endomorph is like somebody who has a pear-shaped body. Ectomorph is somebody who's naturally just skinny all the time, and then mesomorph is like an NFL linebacker. So just somebody who like naturally puts on.
What's the last one?
Mesomorph.
Okay.
It's somebody who just naturally puts on a lot of muscle. So like, I'm definitely an ectomorph. Like I grew up being that much, and I had to weight train for like 20 years just to put on any muscle whatsoever.
It's hard. People think like when you're skinny, like you have it easy. Like I want ass too, bro. Like, like it's hard. It's very hard. I feel like sometimes I think to myself and I'm like, maybe if I could just run and lose weight, it'd be easier. But everybody has their struggles. But putting on weight is hard.
That's the TikTok clip. I want ass too, bro.
I want ass too.
I want ass.
That's gonna be the clickbait of this video right now. I want ass too, bro.
Okay, so here we go. What's the other one? Favorite way to relax: pina colada on the beach. I like that one.
Yeah, I love.
That's good. Let's see. Where is the most exciting place you've ever had sex? At a beach in a public park. Have you done this?
I don't remember answering these questions.
It's fine. It's okay. When you are about to be photographed in the nude, how do you mentally prepare? You were born ready. That's what it says.
Yeah, I was
You're comfortable
born ready.
with your body.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Here we go. When are you happiest? After a good meal or an orgasm? So here's the problem, guys. So here's the issue. Okay, I've done these before, and it's just like you
think of something random off the top of your head to where I can't even think of like what I thought of in that moment.
Yeah, for sure. But like, so they've been doing these for years, like these centerfold things, and they ask the Q&As. It's like, what kind of guy do you like? I like short guys with small penises who have no money. I want to fuck all of them. And it's like, no, they're lying. She didn't say that. You know, it doesn't mean that it's not real. It's just not real. That's the only thing. It's just I love these answers. They're really funny. That's why I wanted to do this because I've done these.
It changes. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's so funny. Sexiest quality in a person can possess is a good heart.
A good heart and being smart. Like, you could be the hottest guy, but if I feel like you're dumb, like it's automatically a turn off.
Have you been on a date before and a dude just like can't read or keep his mouth closed or whatever? He like a troglodyte.
Not that, but like you just like I'm very witty, so it's like people don't. It's weird because like you'd think like some things like they would get jokes, but it just goes over to their over their head, and you realize like you're just kind of dumb. Yeah. Like, and it's weird. Like you don't have to be completely book smart, but it's like you can't like just roll with the punches. Like just very awkward, like slow, I guess.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine. This dude's really good looking. He takes a lot of steroids, fucking jacked as a motherfucker. He comes, he's like, hey, let's hang out, let's go play football. And I talk to him, and I just don't know who I'm speaking to sometimes. It's just like I say things to him, and it's just like, did he get what? Did he understand what I'm saying?
There's like the vibe. Yeah.
No, it's just like did he play? Maybe he played linebacker and he hit his head too much or something. I don't know. I
don't like people who things don't resonate with them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know why you can resonate with somebody? For me, my job today is to not be me asking you these questions. My job today is to think about this from your point of view. That's why for so many times I like try to be empathetic from your point of view, because you're not I had a physicist on like a month ago. You're not the same as him. You have a different reality, and I'm trying to understand that reality. This whole show is based on intellectual curiosity.
So do you feel like you learn a lot and like from other people when you do this?
Of course, yeah. I feel
like it's better to you. Like you're just kind of like you can understand different walks of life now from just doing this podcast.
That's cool. And because people are so different. right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you like one thing, for instance, when we had Chantel Monique on here, she has never had a threesome, or I can't remember, she said she never had a threesome, but she wouldn't want to have a threesome, whatever. Very, very pro-monogamous. And then I've had girls on here who are not like that. You know, they're like, I want it all, right? And so you see these different like points of view. I had Brad Lee on last week. He was like, did you see the clip? It was like, I would never have an orgy. I don't ever want to have, I want to writhe around in oil in an orgy.
Right.
And so like people are just different. They want different things.
I feel like you'd be waiting for your turn.
Right? I don't wait. All right. Anyway, so let's see here. How many pillows do you sleep with? Only 3? What's wrong with you? You only 3 pillows?
3 pillows, yeah. I feel like that's a lot.
How would you describe your personality? Goofy, silly, loving. Okay. And then where do you see yourself in 5 years, being 5 years older? That is fantastic. Yeah. What a great answer. That is correct. That you will be.
I don't know. I don't know what the world's gonna have for me.
I think you're going to be an NFT billionaire. What gets you in trouble? My good looks combined with my bad girl nature. I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I have a feeling with her, we're getting arrested tonight at some point. We are getting arrested later on.
No, nobody could ever arrest her.
They could arrest her because she would just like crawl out and just disappear. She'd go off somewhere. All right, here we go. Last question I have for you. So now, after all these experiences that you've had, you understand there's a lot of people who are going to watch this and they're like, they're not successful on OnlyFans. There's a lot of people who are going to watch this and they were like, maybe they're in a situation where maybe they're not dancing, they're doing something similar like that, and they're trying to figure out how to level up, you know, how to make money here. What is something that you've learned from the dancing, from the filming, from the moving to Florida, all these experiences? What is something that you would tell to some of these people?
I feel like it's hard because I feel like dancing and OnlyFans and all these things for me is something that it always kind of interested me, so I was good at, and that's why I was successful. And I feel like I understand a lot of girls, they get into dancing because they're in a shitty situation and want to make money, but it's like also I have girlfriends that dance and they love dancing and they're not into modeling, they're not into photo shoots, they're not into that shit, but like, oh, I want to make OnlyFans, and it's like you gotta like to create. So it's like if you're not gonna be successful if you don't like the industry. And like when I danced, I was one of the highest ring girls in my club, always did well because I liked it. I liked my job. So it's like if this isn't something that interests you in general, like in learning to do, like you have to like it. So if you don't like taking photos of yourself, you don't like making these videos, you're not going to be successful because it's a chore to you. So
you have to like
if you don't like it, then don't do it.
You have to like the pizza delivery guy, the Uber driver.
Right.
The who else? What are the other tropes? The Uber driver's always the one. Dude, real talk, I don't mean to snitch on anybody. You know, there was a girl who actually did fuck an Uber driver and filmed it, and then the guy sued him afterwards. Have you guys ever read about this? It is the craziest fucking story. And I was like,
I gotta look it up now.
Like, it's crazy. I know her, and it was such a fucking crazy. I think the guy was from like Senegal or something like that. And then afterwards, he finds out that he's on the OF, and that's when they started. That's part of the reasons why they started asking for the waivers, is because she legit fucked an Uber driver. It was crazy. It was just so nuts. Anyway, So,
complaints.
Huh? Nobody complains. I know. Why would you complain?
Well,
Seriously.
because she's making all this money, so he wanted some.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, if there was not much money involved, he probably wouldn't have
Probably wouldn't have cared at all. Probably had a really great time.
Everything's always about money to people.
Yeah, just follow the money. Exactly. What do you you have an investment with the land that you bought? Are there any other investments that you have?
Just that right now. Like, it's not really an investment. It's like I bought land property, so it's like I'm planning to live there, but eventually I want to do more real estate and stuff. I'm looking to open like a vape shop in Tampa, but it's kind of like up in the air right now. Okay, so vape shop. Are you interested in any kind of finance, traditional finance, crypto, stuff like that? Yeah, I have crypto, stuff like that. It's just I'm learning still, so it's all so new, so I can't really like give advice on it, or I don't know where I'm going with it yet. You know what? I know a podcast you should probably subscribe to. Mine. That was a trick question. Sorry, I meant to. Sorry, I didn't get. It went over my head. All right, cool, awesome. So happy to have her here. This is terrific, CJ. I'm so happy that you came out here. That was really great. Hey, you know what? Thank you. I know this is your first time doing a podcast. Guys, ready? This is her first time doing it. She did it. Awesome. She did it. She was terrific. I think your fans are really going to love this. I know my fans are going to love having you on here, guys. Thanks. Please like, share, subscribe. This has just been nothing but a blessing for me. The viewership keeps growing, and if it didn't, I'd still keep fucking doing this because this is such a blessing for me. It reminds me, if you guys ever read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, Dale Carnegie, he says, hey, I'm gonna give you access to all these people. You're gonna get to do interviews with them. You're gonna get to learn all this stuff from you, and I'm not gonna pay you anything.
and you're just going to get to keep the knowledge. That's what this podcast has been like for me. I feel like Napoleon Hill, trying to learn from all these different people. So if you've enjoyed this journey with me, I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys check me out on Spotify. Make sure you guys check me out on Apple Podcasts. We have a lot more great guests coming on. Man, I got Mr. Sandow himself, Jay Cutler, is going to be coming on a couple weeks, and Mr. Jew-Jetting himself, Justin Ross Lee, is coming on here pretty soon. So I'm really excited to bring these incredible people to you, and I will see you all next week.
Ciao.